Today I would like to share some things I have observed over time and that I also see happening today. We will also do a review of the message of today. Okay, so everybody can see clearly the whiteboard and you can hear me clearly.
Yes. Marcel, if people want to ask you a question, do you want them to just ask the question or put their hand up?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, is that what you want them to do? To put their
Uh,
hand up? To put their hand up if they need to ask you a question?
okay,
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you. So if we go to the bow number 6 and review it, the bow number 6, and it say, do you accept your personal responsibility to actively share the everlasting gospel, and are you willing to lead others through your testimony and example to give their life to Christ? So if we think about bow number 6 today within our movement, I have seen a weakening of this baptismal commitment. At times, it's difficult to find some individuals to willing to step forward to serve and to devote part of their time to the work. And I think too often excuse replace commitment. But I think this mentality must change. We cannot continue to justify inaction when we have been called to participate in the mission. So, so it has been a year and I think 7 months since a message of the Sunday Law arrived. So I think that after that time, many personal studies of the Sunday Law emerged. So also today, it seems that the message has been unified. So I think that we return to see the light when the message of the Sunday Law it comes. So to refresh our minds, I would like to draw the line of the 144,000. So to see the time in which we live. So I will put here 1989. So our time of the end. Okay, this is the plowing time. We have 2001. We have the Sunday Law. We have cloth probation and second advent. So early rain, latter rain, and harvest. Okay, so we are here in this dispensation. Remember, this is our 144,000 line. In 1989, we had the beginning of the time of the end, right? You have the fall of the Soviet Union. You have a Republican president here in this time. It was George W. Bush. In 2001, you have the son, I think, George W. Bush, a Republican. And here in 2024, you have a Republican president, Donald Trump. It's the beginning of the new period of political influence within the context of the Seven Kingdom. Okay. It's interesting to see that in these three key waymarks, these three Republican presidents. And not forget, we can also observe a progressive transformation of the Republican Party from 2014 to 2024. So it was 10 years of period of transformation. You will see also the fractal Sandy law, 2019. Then you have also 2021, right? And 2024. So it's spanning 10 years leading up to the period of Donald Trump. So we have living in the time of the end, right? Since 1989, and now we are here in the latter rain period. And I would like to read a quote from Ellen White. If somebody wants to read, I will share it in the chat. Let me find. It's from Prophet and Kings. If you want to read, if somebody wants to read, if it's not, I will read. Don't worry. So in Prophet and King.
What, do you want me to read it, Marcel? It's Natalie. Oh yeah, happy Sabbath.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much.
In the history of nations, the student of God's word may behold the literal fulfillment of divine prophecy. Babylon shattered the broken at the last, passed away because in prosperity its rulers had regarded themselves as independent of God and had ascribed the glory of their kingdom to human achievement. The Medo-Persian realm was visited by the wrath of heaven because in its God's law had been trampled underfoot. The fear of the Lord had found no place in the hearts of the majority of the people. Wickedness, blasphemy, and corruption prevailed. The kingdoms that followed were even more base and corrupt, and these sank lower and still lower in the scale of moral worth.
Thank you so much, Natalie. So if we look at the kingdoms again, so we see that we have Babylon, then we have Medo-Persia, then we have Greece, so this was the first, the second, third, then you have the fourth is Rome. So Rome is divided in two parts. Now Rome A, then you have Rome B. We can see also like we can put like this number 4 and 5. This will be the part A and the part B. And then you have the number 6 that we also know that is USA, right? So Rome part B is until is papacy until 1798, right? And in 1798, you have the rise of the Sixth Kingdom, that is USA. So I think in the past, we understood that the seven kingdom of the prophecy as the papacy, due to an incorrect methodology, because of our background within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We thought that it was papacy, right? But we know that this is wrong. This is USA. So today, however, we have prophetic evidence. We can see the fulfillment of prophecy. The papacy is no longer involved in our history, in our dispensation. As of today, we understand that the seventh kingdom is the United States. So the fifth kingdom is the same as the seven, but we don't take it literally. We interpret it from literal to spiritual, right? Understanding that the seventh kingdom does not appear exactly as the papacy, but it shares its characteristic, its spirits. Okay, so when we say the five is equal to seven, right? So in the kingdom number five, Rome or Rome B, the papacy, you will see religious political power. You have it was a religious political power. You had the wilderness time or the 1260. You can say also the Dark Ages. You can see also global spiritual control. You have church state union. We can see also dominion over kings and a persecution, right? So it's the time of the wilderness, the Dark Ages. So then we have the seven kingdom in our history, and I think that we can compare with the fifth kingdom. So the seventh kingdom, USA, we we see this kingdom in our time, in our dispensation, until the future. So you will see that there is no uh, religious power, it's a political power, right? Um, so I think that aspire the number seven aspire to global dominion. It becomes the image of the beast of Revelation 13. So the seventh kingdom, sorry, mirrors the fifth in nature, not in appearance. So the fifth control through religion, but the seven um, control through politics, or we see culture, ideology. Okay, so the seventh kingdom adopt the same characteristics of the fifth kingdom. That is why the fifth revives in the seventh kingdom. And I think this aligns perfectly with the logic of Revelation 13 and 17. If you remember Revelation 13, it says that the beast um, that suffered the wound, that is Rome part B, is revived through the power of the second beast. This is the earth beast, right? The USA. So the five life again in the seven. We see the seven is the in reincarnation or the image of the fifth kingdom. So the final phase of the USA replicates the structure of the pre-1798 papacy. Okay, so I think this is exactly what Revelation say when we read the chapter 13 and verse 14. And they save them that will on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that will on earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So that is why they are the same in nature and in functions, I think. So the seven is the prophetic revival of the fifth kingdom. So let us remember that after the fifth kingdom comes the sixth kingdom. In 1798, it begins as a lamb, okay, and later we see it as a dragon. So you have the two phases of the USA, right? First of all, it becomes as a lamb. They had a mission to do in 1798. Then it becomes to a dragon. Remember that USA failed the mission. So to see the context, we can read the verse of Revelation 13:11. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. So we understand that this beast, to represent the United States, here we can see its two faces. First of all, lamb, and then dragon. So if we remember the history of these five kingdoms first, we can draw in this whiteboard the time of the fifth kingdom. I don't have too much space here in the whiteboard, so I will write here. So remember the time of the fifth kingdom. So before you have the four, I think it was 508, and then you have 538, and then you have the period of 1260. So this it was the fourth, then it became the five, and then the number six. So this is the first beast, right? Or the sea beast. And then you have the earth beast, right? I think this here you have the transition of the 6 to the 7 until the end. So in Revelation 13:12, it say it's exercise all the authority of the first beast in its presence and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So it's talking about the first beast, right? So here you have the sixth kingdom, then you have a resurrection, right? So this is the seventh kingdom. Revelation 13:12, it says, worship the first beast, the one whose deadly wound was healed. So in this way, its evil example not only remains itself, but also influences and pushes the inhabitants of the earth to copy, to imitate it, follow its paths, and reproduce the same system of worships. So when we move to Revelation 17, what we observe in Revelation 17 is as follows. In accounts, a power is represented, as a king who has risen with the mission to govern with justice and promote good. However, this power enters into a illicit relationship with a woman, an illegitimate spiritual union that takes place in a full view of everyone. As a result, its corrupt conduct not only remains with itself, but also exerts a direct influence on others, giving implicit permission for the inhabitants of the earth to copy it, reproduce its behavior, and participate in the same system of corruptions. So I think we can compare Revelation 13 with Revelation 17, right? You have two chapters to see difference and similitudes. So in Revelation 13, we have the beast that receive authority, right? But in Revelation 17, you have a woman seated on the beast. So in Revelation 17, you have power supported by the king of the earth. But in Revelation 13, you have power restored after the deadly wound was healed. So you have worship, so it's public and global. All the earth, it say the verse in Revelation 13. And in Revelation 17, you have corruptions is now by everyone, the inhabitants of the earth. So you will see visibility of the act. You will see illicit relationships in both chapters. You will see a source of power in both chapters. And the main figure, the beast and the woman and the beast. So then you see the influence in Revelation 17. You will see that they are intoxicating nation with the wine. And in Revelation 13, you have the cows, the earth to worship the first beast. You have the inhabitant of the earth imitate and obey. Also in Revelation 17, you have the inhabitants of the earth participate in her corruptions. I think we can see more things if we compare and contrast these two chapters. I think in Revelation 13, you will see the role of the kings, that they are supporting the system of imposed worship, right? And in Revelation 17, you will see the power and the authority to the beast, right? You will see this spiritual seduction and doctrinal deception. In Revelation 13 is talking about false miracles, right? Um, Also, you will see a false worship, right? And in Revelation 17, you will see apostasy and spiritual corruptions. I don't know if somebody wants to speak about more about Revelation 13 and 17, if you will see similitudes, difference. If somebody wants to speak, you can raise your hand. Natalie?
Hello.
Hello.
What do you see as the miracles? Do you agree with Elder Paminda saying, I think, in a recent study about what the miracles are? Or have you not watched that one?
Yes, I think I watched it was in Guadalupe, right?
Think so, yeah.
Yes.
You remember what the miracles were, what they meant
Um,
with regards to the people, what the miracles were, people in the US?
I think I was agree with the department, but I don't remember. I think it was deception, the false miracles.
Yeah, deception and being tricked.
Yes, they were tricked. Yes, thank
I
you.
just wanted to see if you thought the same. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, so everybody wants to speak some to see some difference or similitudes when we compare Revelation 13 and 17. Because I think we can see many things if we compare and contrast these two chapters. There is many things that I I I I did a brief resume of what I saw, but I think the key idea of these two chapters, because I think that Revelation 13 it shows the mechanisms, right? How worship is imposed through political power. But in Revelation 17, it reveals the moral nature of the system or an illicit relationship that corrupts the kings and the nations. So I think both chapters describes the same system from different perspective. So Revelation 13 is talking about the action, and Revelation 17 the relationships. So if we returning to the fifth kingdom or the first beast, the sea beast, okay, the dark ages or wilderness, when we compare it with our history, because remember that this dispensation you can compare with this dispensation when the seventh kingdom starts, because the fifth kingdom is equal to the seventh, but let us remember that they are equal but not identical. So we can compare 53A, okay, to 1798 when you have the wound of this beast. This time of period you can compare with our dispensation, okay. So in 538 we see the definitive fall of the pagan imperial power. Remember these 30 years of preparations. okay, by pagan Rome, which lead it to become papal Rome, right? So a space open for a new authority or a new type of authority. So when we come to our time, so in this dispensation, 1989, when the Seventh Kingdom arrived in power, so you will see this dispensation when fall of the Soviet Union bloc and the bipolar war end, and a space open for a new global order. So I think in our time, in the Seventh Kingdom, you will see global political or ideological power. In the Fifth Kingdom, you will see visible religious political power. Religion dominates openly. Remember this time of period when authority based on the church. You will see a key contrast in our time, authority based on laws, consensus, global morality. We can notice this key contrast that in the past, religion ruled over politics. But today, I think politics replace religion, but fulfill the same moral function in our dispensation. So in this time, I think it was slow, okay? It was slow and progressive, the process to gradual control of conscience. But in our time, I think it's not so slow. I think it's fast and accelerate the process. I think you can see a rapid control of conscience in our time because remember this was the 1260, 1260 years of period. I think it was too many years. But in our time, I think the time is shortened and I think it's a intensified period. Okay. This is the contrast that I can see. Short time, I think is long time. Both periods, I think, culminate in a crisis of authority. Okay. Um, but I think we can line up this history with this line up by line. Also, 538 seem like our time of the end. 1798, like the second Advent. So I will put here the second Advent because here is when the Seventh Kingdom end, and you will see the real Seven Kingdom. Okay, somebody want to speak or think about this compare and contrast? If you want to speak, raise your hand. Okay, Titus, happy Sabbath. Do you want to, or do you see another difference or another similarity?
Yeah,
Thank you so
happy
much.
Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Yeah, I was thinking, Ellen White, I think, says that, and yes, I think that the seventh kingdom is in the world of perceived enlightenment and science. Like it's different from the fifth kingdom because in fifth kingdom we had dark. Of course, it can be darkness, but also this other one we have some kind of enlightenment, which means it would look different in some sort of way.
So you will see this difference from this time of period to this time of period. You will
Yeah,
see dark
yeah,
time and you will see enlightened time or something like this.
yeah, something like that. Like, yes, like different dispensations in terms of, yeah. I don't know how the words I would use, but the seventh one is in the hedge of perceived enlightenment, something like that. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. Okay, anyone?
Marcel,
Yes,
Natalie.
we're speaking.
Natalie.
Natalie, okay, sorry.
You know, you put the action Revelation 13 and Revelation 17, the relationship. Did you mean something else, or were you going to go into that with regards to adultery?
Okay, could you repeat?
You know, you put action at Revelation 13 and then you put the relationship. I'm assuming you're talking about fornication and Revelation 17. So were you going to go into that more, or were you meaning something else I've missed?
Yeah, I for me is something that I can resume. That in Revelation 17 I see relationships. Okay. Um, with woman and the beast, you will see that there is uh, uh can I how can I say in English? Um,
So
it's not a
okay.
true.
I get the
Yeah,
relationship, if that's what you mean, the woman and the beast chat. And then with the
yeah.
act, what were you going to say about the action? I didn't hear it in Revelation 13.
Yes, I remember that say actions. Yes, when I see actions on this chapter, um, I can see my resume.
Don't worry, don't want to
Yes,
distract. We'll come
yes,
back.
yeah. Both chapters, you will see same system from different angles. So relationships, when I say something that you see false relationship or illicit the woman and the beast is not good relationship. The action of Revelation 13 is that I saw when they speak on the chapter 13. I try to translate this. Um, so in the chapter 13, you will see that the beast um, impose worship. They persecute the saints and also deceive the nation with signs or false miracles. I think that we can see actions in these chapters, but in 17 you will see these relationships when you compare with this chapter. But I think we can see action also in Revelation 17
Yeah, with
because
the Revelation 13, if you're making that If you do an application with action, would you just say it was the miracles?
Yes, but in
Perception.
17 you will not see, you will see moral and spiritual influence over the people and leaderships.
Yeah.
So yes, but also here you will see people participate in the scene, in the corruptions. So I think we can see also actions here in 17.
Thank you.
So we see the woman and the beast with this union. Okay, you will see spiritual fornications. They corrupt the kings and nations. Moral influence. Sorry. Okay, somebody wants to speak or to keep light in these chapters, to put some words, or when we compare Revelation 13 and 17, or also when we compare the fifth kingdom and the seven, to see another things.
You can pick on us, Marcel. Pick someone.
Okay, Andres, do you want to speak? You are here with us.
I'm here with us.
Thank you.
Can you please repeat the question? I
Yes.
got distracted a bit.
Don't worry. When you see the fifth kingdom, papal Rome, when you compare with the seventh kingdom, you will see difference and similitudes, right? Do you want to speak something about these two kingdoms, or also do you want to speak about Revelation 13 and 17 when we compare these two chapters as well? Or do you want to see another thing that we spoke? For example, somebody say that here you have dark and here you have light.
Okay. At this moment, I can't think of something, but if you give me some time, I will.
Okay. So remember that the five kingdom and the seven kingdom, El Department say that they are equal, okay? But he say that they were equal, okay, but not identical, he said. So for me, the fifth kingdom, papal Rome, is when we put as a parable, I saw like the literal, okay. When we come to our history, I saw the seven kingdom as spiritual because USA is the spiritual Rome. If we remember when Elder Terry spoke about the seven kingdom. We can place the seven kingdom in 1989, or we can place the seven kingdom in another year. Curtis, do you want to say something?
Natalie still has her hand up, so I don't know if she's
Natalie. Okay.
I was going to say, did you say before in the 1260 it was religion, and then Seventh Kingdom it was politics? I quite like that. I think you said that before. That's a big distinction and change. Well, no matter if you put it in 89 or if you put it in 2024, 2021. I like that. The change is politics.
Yes, you're right. Yes, yeah, here you have religion, then here we have politic. I put 1989 because I saw that here there is a chain. Remember here that we have 10 years, right? And then in 1989, you will see um, now USA becomes chain. I think the transformation it was slow until 2024. And remember also the four waymarks, the Sunday law of the priests, the Sunday law of the Levites, the Sunday law of the Nethinims, and the 144,000. You see 10 years of periods or transformation of the Republican Party. So also I saw the progressive destruction in four steps, like the prophecy of Joel, I think. So I think it's interesting to see destruction of the Republican Party, or also we can see transformation of the Republican Party.
I quite like what you said about the speed, because I think from 2024, obviously, it's in scripture about the flood, and they talk about blitzkrieg and how fast things are moving. You know yourself. I think when you pointed from the Sunday law, for me, the amount of things that have happened in 17 months is incredible when you look back at history. The speed.
Yeah, the speed. Yes. Yes, in our dispensation, we see the events happening very fast. We are right now in 2024 when I was in this kind of period. Um, I never think that it was so fast to be here in this year, very close to the close of probation. Thinking about other dispensation when we are here in this in the movement, so very fast, and I think the next events will be fast. So okay, for me is I think the time is over. I don't know if we have more time, but
It's up to you, Marcel, if you want to go longer. It's up to you.
okay. So for me in the study, I put everything that I want to say. Also in these months when the studies comes, when the message of the Sunday law unifies. So I saw many lights in the studies of Elder Parminder and others teachers as well. So put all the information together to see all these things happening together. So
Marcel,
yeah,
you put the Sunday law there to the close operation. You put a little person. Where do you think we are in history? I know we're 17 months into the Sunday law, but we put a little. Yeah. Do you think where are we? Where do you think we are now?
I think we are here. Yes, I think we are here in this time.
What would you
Oh,
call?
yeah, I think for me is increase of knowledge
Okay.
when we align in thinking. Remember that it was many presentations, also a preparation of the teachers when they put together to see that we are in the Sunday law period. They were um, they were in union to see that here in this period. So for me, I think we are in Concord or very close to this Weimar.
Okay.
What do you think about that we are in this period? We are before Concord or after Concord or in Concord? What do you think, Natalie?
Obviously from the Sunday law, July 18th, I think the increase of knowledge is on the seventh kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's still in process.
Okay. Blessing, do you want to speak? I see your hand.
Hi, Marcel.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you clearly.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question on your presentation. Could you just help link for me how you're connecting the discussion on Revelation 13, 17, the fifth and the seventh with vow number 6? I might have missed it. So could I ask you to just make that link for me?
Yes. Because remember that in this time of the Sunday period, remember that we are close to which Weimar? We are close to low cry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bow number 6 is talking about our commitment, our mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we now we are in this period of the latter rain. Bow number 6 is talking about of the latter rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the everlasting gospel and in bow number 6. But I'm not sure in United Kingdom, but in the Spanish speaking world, I saw many people the faith decreasing, no increasing, and many teachers of the Spanish speaking world, they don't want to speak again. They don't want to teach the message. They don't want to share. Um, they say that they have another responsibilities. They are busy. So, but for me, I think we are here in this book number 6. Um, so we need to understand our mission because we are so close to this time period.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you.
That was the connection.
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So thank you so much for this invitation. So it was so grateful to share the message with you today. So if you want to kneel with me in pray. Heavenly God, we thank you for this day of fellowship. Thank you because we can meet together in fellowship through this platform uh, to share your message and keep learning more about the message of redemption. Please help each one of us to be strong in the truth and to understand what you have called us to do, to understand our mission today. So, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.